Update, brought to you by Simcox Advocates, advising businesses and families since 1949. Visit simcox.com or call 690 300. Manx Radio's Update with Andy Wint.
Fast away. Good evening. It's 5:30. This is Update for Tuesday, 6th of June, 2023 from Manx Radio. 30 minutes to look at the latest news here on the island and background to the news and sport and business and Sea Watch and travel updates. The newsmakers in person. This evening, a pre-TT competitor has been charged with rape. MHK says it's not the right time for electric buses. Conor Cummins came back today after illness. The purple helmet's gone but not forgotten. And do Douglas play areas need better maintenance?
Man Benham for all your business and legal needs.
First of all, at 29 minutes ahead of 6 o'clock, the Update News headlines. Faster my Siobhan Fletcher.
Faster my. Roads around the majority of the TT course have now reopened following the conclusion of today's Superstock race. The race saw Peter Hickman take his first win of TT 2023 after a dominant performance. The FHO racing rider finished just over 23 seconds ahead of Michael Dunlop in second, who in turn finished 14.8 seconds ahead of Dean Harrison in third. The mountain road has remained shut. All other roads on the course will close again at 6 p.m. ahead of tonight's Super Twin race, which is set to take place at 6:30. Police in Essex have confirmed they've charged another man in connection with an incident at the home of Manx cyclist Mark Cavendish in 2021. Joe Jobson, who's 26 years old, has been accused of 2 counts of robbery. Further afield, the CBI has won support from members at a confidence vote over its future. 93% of firms back the lobby group, which has been facing a string of sexual misconduct allegations. Prince Harry's told a court he suffered a huge amount of paranoia caused by press intrusion. He says he found it hard to trust anyone. The publisher of The Mirror denies hacking his phone. And a landmark agreement's been reached designed to unify golf. The 3 major tours are to merge, with financial backing coming from the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. They're your headlines. News at 6.
Man Benham. Contact us by phone, video call, email or face-to-face. We're happy to connect with you. Manx Radio Weather with Manx Glass and Glazing.
Goromaya, thank you, Siobhan. From the Ronaldsway Met Office, no wind warning in operation for the North Irish Sea. State of sea is smooth or slight. And the 3-day weather, well, this evening dry and sunny, just a light easterly breeze and down to 11 Celsius through the night. For Ukraine, Wednesday dry with long sunny periods and a light easterly up to 19 tomorrow. Dry overnight, minimum 11 into Jardine. Dry and sunny on Thursday, an increasing easterly wind. Top temperature 20 Celsius. Tides on the way out. Low waters at 12 minutes past 8. Sunset 14 minutes to 10. High tide 2 a.m. Sunrise 12 minutes before 5. And the morning low tide 27 minutes past 8.
The Manx Glass and Glazing showroom is currently closed for TT and will reopen on Monday the 12th of June.
Just to reiterate, the roads on the TT course are open between St Ninians and Barrule Park Ramsey, and from Cronkdamona to St Ninians only. The roads will close again at 6 o'clock. The road is closed from Barrule Park to Cronkdamona and will be opening between now and 6 o'clock. And of course, all the information on the best biking station in the world, AM 1368, and your smart devices. A pre-TT Classic Road Racers competitor from Northern Ireland's been remanded at the Isle of Man prison after being charged with rape. The story from Tessa Hawley.
Robert John Woolsey of Agori Road in Portadown appeared at Douglas Courthouse today via live video link. The 44-year-old has been charged with 1 count of rape and 2 counts of indecent assault. The 3 offences allegedly took place in a portable toilet on Walpole Avenue in Douglas on Friday the 26th of May. During a bail application, Mr Woolsey's advocate said his client's sister, who travelled to the island for the hearing, was able to offer a £30,000 surety to the court. Giving information under oath, she said her brother was a TT visitor who'd planned to be on the island for a week, adding that the concrete manufacturing company, which he jointly owns, would be impacted if he couldn't return to work. Bail was opposed by the prosecution. High Bailiff Jane Hughes said she believed if released on bail, Mr Woolsey could fail to surrender to the court. Highlighting that Northern Ireland was outside of the jurisdiction, she said any bail conditions which she imposed couldn't be enforced. Committal proceedings, where the case is elevated to the Court of General Jail Delivery, will take place on the 25th of July. Mr Woolsey will be remanded at the Isle of Man prison until his next appearance on the 13th of June.
Trialling electric buses on the Isle of Man's raised the eyebrows of one political member after it was revealed each would cost in the region of £500,000 to buy. A Mercedes e-Citaro's previously roamed the roads, and another electric bus is currently being trialled during TT. But Douglas North MHK John Wallenberg thinks it's not the right time to be considering them.
We've got so many pressures around today, which everybody knows about. To spend £500,000 on a bus is obscene. Let's spend it on things which really count, right? Let's get some solar panels, let's get the wind turbines going, let's do something which is really worthwhile. But to buy £500,000 buses, I just cannot understand why this is even considered at the moment. You know, I'm not to say that in 10 years' time, 15 years' time, this may be the case, and they'll probably be a lot cheaper. But here and now, that's absolutely nothing that I would support. Infrastructure network needs to be looked at if we're going to have a fleet of electric buses, and even those words coming out of my mouth, I struggle with. There's a lot more work that needs to be done before we go along this route, and it's not a plan at all. It shouldn't even be considered at the moment. No, there's far more pressing things to be worrying about. Well, why indeed? It's virtue signalling of the highest order. Maybe they're putting a red herring across, but it's nothing that should be seriously considered at the moment. I mean, really. I mean, look around. People are hungry and cold. Cost of living is going through the roof. Inflation's going through the roof. Mortgages are going up. And now here we are talking about buses, electric buses. No.
Update brought to you by Simcox Advocates.
Play areas around Douglas are currently being inspected following complaints from parents who feel they may need more maintenance. Deputy Mayor of Douglas, Stephen Crellin, and some parents have been speaking to our local democracy reporter, Emma Draper.
I can't knock the parks guys, because the parks guys do a real good job, to be fair, and the parks are inspected on a weekly basis, and then they have a rolling programme of maintenance works, and of course that gets picked up by the guys in the parks department and done on a regular basis, so I can't really kick them for that, to be fair. Disabled access these days is quite important. It doesn't matter where you are, whether it's a park, a swimming pool, you know, it doesn't matter where you go in the world today. You know, it's part of the Equalities Act at the end of the day, so you have to ensure, you know, there is disabled access, or there's some form of access so people can get in. It's not too bad on flat areas. The grass is maintained and it's a solid surface. People can get around the parks quite easy, but if you've got a park that's on a bit of an incline, it's better if you have some form of solid path to be able to get round to the outside of the park itself. Even just being able to get to the seating areas and be able to sit down and have a meal and basically watch the kids. Yeah, it is quite important. They do look at that when they're doing a scheme anyway. They always look at the access provisions. All I would say to people out there, you know, don't be frightened to report anything at any of the parks. Speak to the parks department. You know, if you think it's an issue, give them a ring. Somebody will come down and have a look, and we'll certainly try and get it fixed as quick as we can. And if it's going to be a major issue, we'll seal off that bit of equipment so we can get somebody down to get it fixed properly.
Generally, I do like them. A lot of them could be kept a bit better. Like there's a bit of rust, some wood is rotting. The bits where they can stand on, it's made out of rubber, isn't it? A lot of the parks, it's gone, like it's chipping away and that sort of thing. So the parks aren't bad. I feel like there's lots in them, but the upkeep can be better.
Yeah, like Laxey Glen, that could have been good to have like a big shelter on top, so you could still go when it's raining.
Yeah, it's a lovely park, but it's
much indoor stuff.
No. Oh yeah, we need more indoor stuff for when winter comes, because parks are just going to be too darn cold.
There was a welcome return to the TT today for Manx fan favourite Conor Cummins for today's Superstock race. He was ruled out of 3 races at the weekend due to illness. He explained ahead of today how tough it was over the weekend having to sit out the races.
Nothing short of awful, to be fair. Yeah, been sidelined at my home event's been a real kick in the teeth, but thanks to the guys at Nobles and the medical team from the TT, we've worked closely, and a drip or two later and a few anti-sickness, this, that and the others, we've managed to get back on track and just been at home with my family, so it's been nothing short of torture hearing the bikes go past, but it's for the right reasons. I've got to be safe, and you know, the rest's paid off because I'm here today and I'm able to ride my bike.
Presumably you were feeling pretty rough all through qualifying then?
Yeah, I was pretty rough since sort of last weekend, really. Sorry, a couple of weekends ago now. And I just had to try and sort of muscle my way through, but I was never quite 100% really. So despite that, we managed to get some decent enough laps in, and then it all went belly up after Wednesday. So I've not turned a wheel since then until today. But it's all behind us now. I've got to think positively. We're here. I've just done another lap there in the Stocker, so I can use that to move forward from, really. So I've just got to use these next 3 laps as more track time, but just I just want to get stuck in, really.
Sea Watch with the Isle of Man Steam Packet Company.
Mothership Ben McCree departed Heysham at 8 minutes past 2. She'll be on the link span right now below us at Douglas Head. She's safely there, departing this evening at 8:15 back to Heysham at about just after midnight, departing at 2:15 back to Douglas tomorrow morning at 6. The high-speed craft Manannan left Douglas at 10 to 4. She'll be into Liverpool about 7:15, and then departing Liverpool at 8 o'clock back to Douglas at 11 tonight. Tomorrow morning's departures: Manannan departs Douglas for Heysham at 7:30, and Ben McCree departs Douglas for Heysham at 8:45.
Follow the Steam Packet on Twitter for the latest sailing information.
Efforts are underway to find new police officers for the Isle of Man Constabulary. Aside from patrolling the TT fortnight, officers are also promoting the Isle of Man and the force. Here's Chief Inspector Danny Rochell.
We are looking to recruit. That process is ongoing, as I know a number of other agencies are as well. Health, education, a full wide range of different areas. There are a number of other people who've transferred across with a vast array of policing experience that is of vital importance, really, to the constabulary. That blend of local knowledge and experience of dealing with matters in a number of different areas and in a number of different ways is a really positive thing, and the diversity that brings. And when you speak to different people within the constabulary who have transferred across, a number of them will have started with a visit to the TT, and that's planted the seed within their future plans, and that has resulted in them transferring across. There's not a shortage as such, but what we do as a management team is look to project into the future. We consider when people may retire, we consider where our gaps may be, and there are a number of specialist officers with specialist skills who may be looking at retirement in the coming years, and we try to ensure that we have plans in place so that we have that steady flow and stream of recruits to support the ongoing recruitment campaigns for brand new officers within the constabulary. Have I had the opportunity to speak to people? I've spoken with a number of people. You'll have seen me out and about all around Douglas. I've had the opportunity to probably speak to hundreds of individuals, and hopefully that has allowed people to consider whether it is a move that they wish to make.
Manx Radio Business Briefing.
At 16 minutes before 6, in UK corporate news, Mike Ashley's Frasers Group's lifted its stake in the online fashion retailer ASOS again. Frasers upped its stake to 8.8% from 7.4%. This compares to a holding of about 5% in October last year. And for a full daily market report, go to RamseyCrookall.com. In America, Coinbase is in trouble. The US has charged the biggest crypto trading platform in the country with operating illegally, widening its crackdown. The Securities and Exchange Commission said Coinbase had acted as a broker, exchange and clearing agency for investments that are subject to SEC rules without proper registration. The regulator said this has allowed the firm to escape oversight, including guards against conflict of interest. Coinbase countered, saying the rules weren't clear. They said they'll continue to operate as usual. The complaint against Coinbase comes a day after the SEC sued Binance, the world's largest crypto trading platform, accusing them of mishandling customer funds, artificially inflating trading volume on the site, and taking steps to evade US regulation. US authorities have pledged to police the crypto industry more aggressively using existing rules, arguing that many crypto assets function like other investments which are subject to oversight.
The Stock Market Report, brought to you by Ramsey Crookall.
UK and European stocks slightly higher despite downbeat sentiment in other global markets. US stocks stocks wavered during midday trading. Gold was higher and oil tumbled more than $1 a barrel after a strong rally in the previous session. The numbers now from Ramsey Crookall. At the close at 5 o'clock this evening, the FTSE 100 was up 0.4% at 7,628. The DAX in Frankfurt closed up almost 0.2% at 15,992. A short time ago in New York City, the indices were like this. The Dow Jones Industrial down just over 0.1% at 33,517. The Nasdaq Tech Stocks Index up 0.25% at 13,359. In Chicago, the S&P 500 up just over 0.1% at 4,279. In the exchange markets, the British pound sterling is trading at $1 24.2 cents, €1 16.1 cents, and 23 South African rand 88.3 cents. In commodities, gold is up just over 0.1% at $1,964 per troy ounce, and a barrel of Brent crude down almost 0.5% at $76.22.
You've got an investment plan?
Yeah, Mike set it up.
But don't you need loads of money to do that?
Not this one. It's called Shearwater from Ramsey Crookall, and you pay in monthly as little as £100. So it's like saving regularly, really helping us invest in the future. For a house, or the kids' education.
£100 a month? I could easily do that.
You should. The sooner you start, the better.
Invest in your future with as little as £100 a month. Shearwater from Ramsey Crookall, the island's investment specialist for 75 years. Call 717171 or visit ramseycrookall.com. Licensed and regulated by the Isle of Man Financial Services Authority.
It's a blight on humanity, but the purple helmets are no longer performing, but live on in a new book that's just been released. Speeds approaching 100 miles an hour is made up of stories and pictures of the legendary group during their 27 years of comedy routines. The man behind the book, Derry Kissack.
We've done donations for charity and things, and in fact, any proceeds from this book, over and above the costs, are to be split equally between the hospice, Isle of Man Hospice, and the Queen's Pier in Ramsey, like a last gesture of charity work. As Smashy and Nicey would say, there's a lot of work for charity, mate.
And the coats themselves, because they all look identical. Did everyone have their own coat then? Or
you had to have your own coat because of the smell. There was a good story about the coats one night up at Government House when Ian McFadden was the governor. He brought Prince William as a young man. I think Prince William was about 20 or 21 maybe, and we did a show for him. Well, I think the picture is in the book actually with William wearing one of our coats. Well, it came about that our guys had been out on the tracks all day through the mud and muck and whatever, and Robbo, one of our great guys who lives in Carnforth actually, he was there with his coat on, a very old coat and a smelly one. In fact, he's known as the polecat for obvious reasons. And I said to Prince William, I bet you'd like to try on one of these coats, Your Highness. And he said, oh, rather. So Robbo, one of the first, most generous of the helmets, whipped his coat off, and he swapped coats with the Prince for his blue Savile Row jacket. And not only did the Prince put his coat on, but he put the Prince's coat on. And he rooted through the pockets, and he was heard to say, there's not much in your pockets, Your Highness.
Update brought to you by Simcox Advocates, advising businesses and families since 1949. Visit simcox.com or call 690 300. Manx Radio Sport.
That's Sports Editor Faster My, Rob Pritchard.
Faster My, good evening. Well, after a delay of several hours to racing this morning due to the weather, Peter Hickman has taken his first victory of TT 2023 after the FHO racing rider put in a thunderous performance during this afternoon's Superstock TT Race 1. Having finished second in the last two solo races, Hickman was able to go one better and in imperious style with a best lap speed of 134.331 miles an hour, just outside lap record pace for the class. In doing so, he beat second place Michael Dunlop by just over 23 seconds, who managed a best pace of 133.346 miles an hour, whilst the podium was completed by Dean Harrison, who made it 3 third-place finishes in a row so far at this racing fortnight, with a race best of 132.736. Speaking after the race, Hickman said it was a race to enjoy.
The bike was absolutely awesome. I've not even ridden the bike since Wednesday. Only did about 4 laps on it in practice. Was super happy with it. I was having a bit of fun, really. I did a few big wheelies and a few little waves, and yeah, I was just enjoying enjoying it. You know, when you've got that little bit of a buffer, it's just nice that you know you can relax and chill out and just enjoy the place, and that's exactly what I was doing.
Elsewhere, claiming his third podium spot in a row, Harrison told Radio TT that particular result felt like a big achievement.
I'm over the moon with that, to be honest, because I thought the stock bike were going to be the toughest probably race of the week. So to get a podium, I'm over the moon, because there's so many people riding well in stock at the minute, and there's quite a lot of lads out there with good stock bikes. So to get a third with a Dow Kawasaki, I'm happy with that.
Meanwhile, there was drama elsewhere as race officials have said they're investigating an incident in the pit lane during the race involving 2 riders. Organisers have said it involved the number 12 outfit Michael Rutter and number 13 competitor Dominic Herbertson. No further details have yet been released. And that's not the end of the racing today, as we're due to have the Super Twin TT Race 1 tonight at 6:30pm, with roads around the TT course due to shut shortly at 6pm. The mountain road has remained closed.
Manx Radio Travel, driven by Quayside Tyres and Service Centre.
Inbound this evening, Loganair's 5:25 from Manchester came in 7 minutes late. Next, it's the 10-8 Loganair from London City, showing on time. The 5-8 returning patient transfer Loganair from Liverpool on time. And the 8:15, fingers crossed, EasyJet from Gatwick, showing on time at the moment. Outbound, the 5:30 EasyJet to Liverpool was delayed until about 10 minutes ago. Next outbound, it's the Loganair 6 o'clock to Liverpool, the patient transfer outbound, and then it's the returning EasyJet to Gatwick, fingers crossed, at 8:45. On the roads, you heard everything closes at 6 o'clock tonight, or the mountain road is still closed. And out of hours, remember, cycling is prohibited on the mountain road. In Derby, the Ballymena road's got phased closures for water main repairs throughout the TT period.
Quayside Tyres and Service Centre. Spread your payments interest-free. Get more with
Quayside. Today was a special day for veteran TT rider Michael Rutter, who made his 83rd race start on the mountain course this afternoon. It means he's matched the number of TT starts that his dad, Tony Rutter, made. What did he feel the milestone was like?
Obviously, my dad's won 7. I've been lucky enough to win 7. It's quite funny. It's mirrored each other, and we're having a laugh about it this morning. You know, Craig, who obviously we're trying to help this year, and Davey Todd. You know, they weren't even born when I started racing. You know, it's scary. 1994, I remember it well. The RC45, and it was a bit of a bad weather, raining as well. We started off with slick tyres and had to do first ever race lap on slick tyres in the rain. So yeah, we've got it easy now.
Things have changed somewhat. How does a TT start for you now compared to that first one back in 1994?
Oh, it was just terrifying. It was like I'd obviously grown up with it with my dad, and watch the good sides and the bad sides of it, and it's a big thing sitting on that grid, especially for a senior race when you're or a superbike race and you've got 6 laps and 226 miles. It's still daunting today, but the good thing is really, I've got very good sponsors, Badham's Racing, all my sponsors and that, and I explained to them, I'm just trying to wobble around and see if I can get over 130 mile an hour, which I'm happy I did.
We've been talking just how important it is to have the sponsors, to have that support, to have the team, whether it's a factory team or your friends and family with you. That's all part of the experience.
Oh, it is, and you can't do it without sponsors, and you can't do it without people coming up to give you a hand as well. We've got a real good bunch, and I think that's what everybody needs.
If you have a news story for Manx Radio to investigate and report, email newsroom@manxradio.com or call 682 631 any time of day or night.
Thanks for joining Manx Radio. Remember, update is on weekday evenings between 5:30 and 6 from Manx Radio, live in Douglas in the Isle of Man. Well, you might have noticed 2 helicopters circulating the island during TT. They're responsible for the footage of the races, and they're getting closer to the action than ever before. Returning for his 21st year filming the TT, one of the aerial cameramen, Simon Werry.
They have the ability to react fast and actually go fast. Top speed is around about 140 knots, which is about 160 miles an hour. They're very good for filming these bikes. Before, we've used twin-engine helicopters, which are quite slow and a little bit more ponderous. These things will react faster, and that's making all the difference to the pictures. we're able to use long lenses. We're able to stay with the bikes much longer than we have in the past. And then for the last 2 years, we've been filming live, and so hence the 2 helicopters. We have the first helicopter goes from, with myself and Harry Goodwin, who's my pilot, we go from start-finish line, and we go all the way through to Kirkmichael, where the second helicopter then picks it up, takes them through all the way round, through the hairpin, up to the top of the mountain, and then takes them through to Windy, and then we take it over from Windy and we bring them back around and through the start-finish line. And that way we're able to cover a single bike for the entire lap. The story is king, so basically Dave is talking to me directly all the time, and he's saying, pick up this bike, pick up that bike, and we just go with what they want to do, because it's all about a story. We're not aware of what's going on with Michael Dunlop, we're not aware of what's going on with individual racers, and also if someone drops out that's in fourth, we can't necessarily see that. So the story is king, and we follow the story.
That's it for Update Tonight, compiled from Manx Radio's news department. Thanks to newsreader Siobhan Fletcher, producer Rhiann Evans. Stick around, it's Pride Month, and Siobhan is on after 6 with Pride, and Tom Kane with the hits at 6:30.
WINT